Hi guys, my name's Gia. I'm a junior at Lehigh, and I'm going to be doing a salt DIY lava lamp with you guys. All you need is a jar that we're going to fill with water, either vegetable oil or baby oil, some salt, and any color like food dye that you want. I'd recommend a color that's like a little bit darker. You don't want it to be the same color as the oil that you're using if you're using vegetable oil. So I'm sure you guys have seen an experiment similar to this before. I know people have done the DIY lava lamps with like antacid tablets. You can also use like aspirin, which is this like Advil. But I saw something that did it with salt, and I think it's a little bit different and cool. So I wanted to show you this example of it as well, and then we could talk through the science behind it afterwards. So I'm gonna go fill up this with about 2/3 of the way of water, and I'll be right back. Okay, it's 2/3 of the way full, and I'm gonna fill the other third with vegetable oil, and you wanna leave a little bit of room at the top as well. So I'm gonna fill it up to like there. Let's see, maybe a little bit more. Okay, so if you guys can see, it is sitting on top of the water, the oil sitting on top of the water. And you could see that it pulled away from the water instantly. And oil and water don't mix because of the different densities and the different polarities within the water and the oil. And we can get into that a little bit later. But the next thing that we want to do is add a couple drops of food coloring right on top of the oil. So I'm using pink. Okay. And they'll slowly sink through the oil. You can see that they're like right on the cusp of the oil and the water, and they will slowly sink eventually. They're literally about to like burst through. Maybe I'll add one more drop and it will do the trick. There we go. Just fell to the ground. You can see it's at the bottom now. And then the next thing that we do is add the salt. So you're just gonna add a scoop, and the salt will fall through the oil and through the water because it is heavier than the both of them, and the oil will return back to the surface. And you'll see all this bubbling and reaction happen, and it will give off that lava lamp effect. So I'm just gonna, you can see the effect that it's having. It's super cool. Add some more. It's like bubbling. It's continuing to bubble. Maybe add some more, see it happen again. The more you add it, the more it will happen. You can see the pink food coloring like float to the top as well. And it'll keep happening, like more bubbles will come up because the bubbles that are coming back to the surface are the oil that was dragged down by the salt is now being released again and coming back up to the surface. So now I'm going to explain the science behind this experiment. So the big theory behind this experiment is that oil and water have different densities and polarities, so they don't mix. Oil is less dense and water is more dense. So that means at the same volume, water will have more mass or weight than oil will. And since oil is less dense than water, it actually floats on top of the water and won't mix. The second reason behind it is polarity, like I mentioned. They don't mix because of that. Polarity means that a molecule has a positive charge at one end and a negative charge at the other. And a water molecule is considered to be a polar molecule because it has negative and positive charge. Oil molecules are nonpolar, and they have a shell of negative charges. So again, that's why the water and the oil don't mix and merge into one like consistent homogeneous fluid. So when you add the salt to the top of the oil, it is heavier than the oil and the water, and it sinks to the bottom of both layers. As it passes through the oil will stick to the salt crystals and it's carried as a blob through the water, which were those bubbles that we were seeing. And it forms this layer at the bottom of the jar. As the water dissolves the crystalline salt, because salt dissolves in water, the oil is then released back up to the top again. And because it's less dense than water, that's why we see it float up. And it creates that lava lamp effect. So I hope that this experiment was cool for you guys. It's super easy to try at home, and it's a little bit different than the antacids tablets. I didn't even have those at home, and I wanted to try this experiment and saw that you could do it with salt. So try this out at home. Try it with a friend or show a parent or guardian. Super cool. Thanks for watching.